Give thanks to yourself right now. Give thanks to yourself right now. Think about right now what you endured just this last brief moment and thank yourself. Give yourself a round of applause. You deserve it. You deserve yourself to give yourself a round of applause. Welcome to Make It Make Sense Sundays. This is your host, Mr. KumSeeBoutMe. Yes, I am very thankful to be here. I love being here. And I love doing whatever it is that I'm getting ready to do. I may explain to y'all what I'm getting ready to do. And I said it the last time I was here. I'm just to talk to myself about some stuff that I got going on. And then we're going to pinpoint it. And after I pinpoint it, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go on by my day. Because I know this ain't the beginning of the week. They told us this was the beginning of the week. And since they told us it was the beginning of the week, do you, A, just supposed to go along with it? Or do you supposed to find out if this is really? Because if it's not, then you got to prepare. You got to prepare different. You understand what I'm saying? And again, that's why you hear it all the time. Make it make sense. Every time somebody has an opportunity to have a microphone in front of them, or they have a crowd in front of them, and they made it make sense. You know, give y'all some time to come in here. I got of course, I always got film. But the title I picked today is Why Do We Pick the God We Want to Serve? Why do we want to pick the God that we want to serve? I'm talking about whatever you're going through right now. The God that you bring praying to is certain rules and it's certain regulations. It's a certain way to stand on that 10 with the God that you're praying to, because God is a jealous God. And how was proof of that when that boy went up there to the mountains. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to me, follow me. Went up there to the mountains, and that boy came back down after getting that stuff that we need to it's some commandments, I'm thinking. And them boys had a whole golden image of whatever it is they built. And they believed in that, and they went through their day believing that that's what's going to help them get to where they're trying to get to if they just give thanks to that. That's why I said in the beginning of this, give yourself a round of applause. You've been hemmed up against the wall. Some of you been in a cage. Some of you been free and in the cage. But whatever it is, you know, you talk to your presence. And it's my job to make sure you know what your presence is when you go enter off into praying or into interceding with yourself or talking to your ancestors or whatever you want to call it. You're trying to make us. You can't make me do nothing. That's one thing you can't do is make me do nothing. I don't care what it is. You can't make me do nothing. Either I want to do it or I'm not going to do it. And that's human behavior. That's not just me. But I'm talking to myself and I'm telling you what I do so I can identify it within a group, because it say if you just testify and two or three are gathered, I mean, I'm just going by simply, you know. But every day we pick a God that we want to serve, because we don't go by all that stuff that's in that Bible is what I'm trying to get to. You don't go by all that stuff that's in the Bible. Some of that shit you skip over. Some of that shit you ain't now. That ain't part of the code. And if you got a code over here, you ain't going to do that because that's breaking the code. So you're going to break the code of the... I'm just saying, why do we pick the God we want to serve? And then we got a problem with somebody else's belief or how they believe and how they make it throughout the day. I'm just saying. But, hey, the God that I got, I was just listening to it before I even got on. And before I even got on, man, I was listening to it. And I'm trying to tell you, man, that's why I put on this captions. I don't know if you want to read it at the bottom. It say, make it make sense, hosted by me, blah, 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 blah. Inspiration for those who don't accept the norm. I don't expect a lot of people to be on here. I don't expect to see a lot of numbers. I ain't even doing it for the numbers. I'm doing it for the simple fact that one person gonna catch what I'm saying and it's going down. That's the beauty of it. When you catch what somebody's saying, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't know them or if you do know them, but you know whatever what's being said need to be received. You understand what I'm saying? You ever been on the other hand of receiving when you the giver? You understand what I'm saying? When you the giver, but you be on the sometimes you got to learn how to receive, because if you give, you got to learn how to receive, because you know how to dish it out. You got to learn how to get it. You understand what I'm saying? You got to learn how to accept it when it comes to your arms and take care of it and curdle and hold that thing. We in football season, y'all. I ain't talking football. I'm talking about that gift that God gave you, man. Sometimes he enhanced that gift and he throw it back to you. You know what I'm saying? It's yours. You're going to catch it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you do with it after you catch it. See, my daddy always told me keep the ball in my court. You know what I'm saying? I played basketball, but it was more to it than just the basketball that he was talking about. I'm just talking to myself, make it make sense on Sundays, man. Yeah, we here, man. Why do we pick the God that we want to serve? Why do we pick the God that we want to serve? Why do you pick the God that you want to serve whenever you're going through whatever it is that you're going through? I don't care if you got a significant other or not. You can't go. You ain't going married. When you die, you ain't gonna die married. When you die, you're gonna die. You're gonna die by yourself. You ain't gonna have that mate. You ain't gonna have nothing. So is it somebody that you want to die with, or is it somebody that you want to live with? Either way it go, man, somebody is with somebody for something, and it's something that just keeps the peace. And if it's something that keeps the peace, won't you hold on to that? Because that shit can take you a long way. Now, when you start creating the peace or creating anything, that stuff ain't going to take you too far. And you're going to run into your own trap, trying to think that you're slicker than what you're slicker. I'm just talking to myself. I ain't talking about nobody or what somebody did to me. I'm just talking about myself, period. And I love to come out here and do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. If you are what you are that. And if somebody want to remind you, good for them that they did their research. At least they doing their research. Now, after you know what it is, then what you going to do after that? That's the applying the stuff that's the knowledge that you apply. Anybody can receive the knowledge, but I'm talking about it's the knowledge that you apply. So without further ado, we're going to get to this video that I got. We're going to start it right where we started at. Oh, first I got to do this. Hold up. How y'all doing out there? Period. Got a new year coming up, y'all. What y'all think about that? We'll get into it. But without further ado, Pastor Ray Hagins.
You will know how to read between the lines and for deeper understanding when you get into the habit of thinking. I look at my people, my beautiful Black African people, and I see that the minds of our people have been manipulated into a paralysis of analysis. When it comes to getting the knowledge about those things that will help to set us free, help to empower us, we honestly don't think. We've attached phrases like the mind of God to our psyche. And if the person we're listening to wears that title, our thinking goes out the window. And whatever he or woman of God says, we accept it. We ingest it. We digest it. And it becomes a part of our fiber to our own destruction. When it comes to the biblical text or religious literature, the minds of our people have been manipulated to the point to where, and I've seen this, to where there is an automatic built-in self-defense mechanism. Don't attack their belief system, man. Don't even suggest that they think about what their Bible says. Don't even.
I was taught by a real good teacher of mine that said that you cannot violate nobody's free will. They sure the hell violated us. They violated the fuck out of us. And the reason why I say it with so much power is, yeah, it get to the point where that shit kind of, if it don't piss you off, I don't hang with too many people anyway. But if shit like that don't piss you off, I don't hang with too many people anyway.
Suggests that the Quran might not have been dictated by Allah. Don't say such a thing. That's enough to get your head cut off by religious people. I'm concerned, brothers and sisters, with the number of black African people who are committed to God and the things of God. You see, because we black folk.
Why do we, before I let them even get in there, so I'm going to get in there first, before you even get in there. And the topic is, why do we pick the guard when we want to pick them? You understand what I'm saying? And he's explaining this shit right now. He's breaking it down. He's breaking it down on a different platform in a different arena where it's already eyes looking at him. They already got the weapon is drawn already. You know what I'm saying? No weapon against me shall. Well, all the weapons is on his ass. All the weapons will be on mine too. But again, it's just a certain way that you got to analyze some shit and you got to figure that. They always taught you life is a test. Well, man, if you in the same shit and you're not liking the shit that you in, but you putting up with it, I'm going to say this shit one more time. You in the shit that you in. You in it right now. You living that shit. I'm talking to myself. I ain't talking to nobody else. Ain't nobody made me mad. Ain't nobody done this to me. You in the mess. If you this for entertainment purposes only. I don't even know what I'm talking about. If you in the shit that you in and you don't like the shit that you in, but you still in the shit that you in, that's the test. So either you're going to love that shit all the way 100% or you're going to fake it till you make it. Good luck faking it till you make it. Because I'll pick loving that shit for anything. And you got to just show it. Once you show it, you ain't got to talk that shit. Now, you talk it when you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing it. They talking about, you ain't got to sound no trumpet when you're doing some shit, but you know when it's time to do the shit. I'm talking to the ones. You know when it's time to perform the miracle. You know what miracle I'm talking about. You got to pull that person over and tell them, hey, say, I don't know what's going on. I don't know you from man to moon. I ain't trying to disrespect you, but I ain't got to tell them this is what God said because God ain't never said nothing. But when you think about it and you put the power back in your hand and you are in the image of, and if you are the image of, and then you are the child of, and you the brother, well, you must got some, man, you the brother of the person of the source. If you the child of the source, if you touching the garment of the source, even in the book it says somebody just touched the garment of the source. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it if you just hug yourself and embrace yourself. That's why in the beginning of the show, I was trying to tell you to give yourself a round of applause because you got to embrace yourself first. When they show some of them Egyptians down, they had their arms crossed. You understand what I'm saying? They had their arms crossed like this here. You know what I'm saying? But you're touching yourself and that power in your palms, you're putting that power back into yourself. So it's a lot of stuff they didn't teach us when we was little. But, you know what I'm saying? As you grow up, you can feel energy. Oh, yeah, you can feel energy. How do you understand? How do you know that this person is not on your frequency and it needs to go? And you will be protected from it even if it got to be around. Because a lot of shit you can't change. And a lot of shit you can't change. A lot of shit you can't change. I'm talking to myself. I can't change a lot of shit, man. Sometimes I can't even change the banners on the StreamYard to switch it up. I just use the same thing. I just keep doing it because I'm human. I'm going to do human behavior shit. Once I understand human behavior and I understand my body, like it's certain foods that shape the same certain organs in your body. You know what I'm saying? I just got to be obedient enough to do it. Some of the stuff I do it a little piece by piece, and I know it's what you're supposed to do. You just keep on. You end up doing it. You'll end up just not eating it all, for real. Do that plenty of times. But, they call it something else. But I'm going to let them cook, though.
Are committed to God in a way that no other race of people on this planet is committed to God. Now, the reason for that is because we are a spiritual people. But somewhere along the line, because we stopped exercising basic thinking skills, we have allowed our commitment to spirituality to become confused with our commitment to God. The problem is most of us have a concept about God that is not our historical concept. It is a concept, it is a viewpoint, it is an idea that was given to us by a people who don't even know what God is. I notice, I hear our people, they'll tell you in a moment's notice what the will of God is. When it comes to life, death, sex, marriage, money, divorce, how to dress, how to pray, whatever it is, our people have developed an inside track.
We got it down pat.
They never stop to find out the what, when, where, why, and how. God established this inside track with them. They just know that they know God. And they can tell you, now can't tell you nothing else about anything else in life, but they can tell you what God hates. Right. They can tell you how tired God is.
Keep up.
God getting tired.
How do we pick the God we want to serve? Not the God they made us serve. The God we want to serve.
Think about that. First of all, we're talking about the Almighty. Look at somebody near you and say the Almighty doesn't get tired.
But we tired of you though. We tired of you.
But see, what we have a tendency to do is we have a tendency to make God like us. See, what they're really trying to tell you is I'm getting tired of your stuff. But they know that you ain't gonna listen to that. See what I'm saying? So what they gotta do is they gotta put God in it. God getting tired of your stuff. God ain't gonna put up with your stuff much longer. What they're trying to tell you is, I ain't gonna put up with your stuff much longer. Oh man. I look at how our people quote Bible verses. They quote Bible verses to tell you what the will of God is. They quote these passages from the Bible. They quote these passages from the Quran. They quote these passages from the Talmud, the Torah, the Vedas, whatever. They quote these passages with an air of arrogance because they have an inside track with God. Now, the problem here is, and this is what I've noticed over the years, everyone has their version of what the mind or will of God is. Have you ever noticed that? When it comes to various issues and concerns, as a result of all of the many versions, as a result of all the many opinions, the doctrines, the dogmas, the points of view, and even convictions. Now that's some deep stuff. What's deep is how an opinion becomes a conviction. Something that simply starts out as an idea, a thought, literally becomes a doctrinal position that you better not violate, or you going to hell. God gonna send you to hell. That's some deep stuff, man.
That is. That should have changed your way of life if somebody that meant a lot to you point to you in your face with that spit coming out, telling you going to hell. It might do something to somebody else's soul. It might not do something to that person's soul, but to me, I'm just talking about, I told you, I'll be talking to myself. Ain't nobody in front of me. I ain't looking for none of y'all. I'm looking at Ray Hagens right now. I ain't looking to see who listening to me talk, or even if I don't care if you don't believe what I be seeing. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad. I'm not even trying to convince somebody to wake up. I'm not. I don't. I'm just putting this stuff out because it's interesting to me. Make it make sense. It's just make it make sense. That God gonna tell you he the most loving God, bro. And I'm telling you, man, they say God is a jealous God. I mean, y'all make enemies. Like they make enemies off some shit that they made scripture, or some shit that they made solid or whatever. Because God is a jealous God, but then the people disobeyed that God and built a whole nother golden calf. I'm just saying though, bro, that shit been happening for so long. Like nigga got their own gods they be talking to. And they got faith in that shit and they believe in that shit. A lot of people don't even talk about God. And they talk, man, come on, man, they on that demon time. Don't even know what a demon is, though. We just gotta go what they told us what is a demon. Then they say that let me stop.
God told them that he was going to send you to hell. God has not told them about themselves yet. You got that? Okay? God told them what he's going to do to you, though. Man. As a result, brothers and sisters, of God saying so many different things to so many different people,
This one starts to hurt.
The world has become one big ball of confusion. All because God seemingly keeps telling different things to different people about the same thing. That's right. Yes, sir. Did y'all get that? God keeps telling different people different things about the same thing. That's another quote, man.
Those who have an ear, let them hear. Let them hear. Those who have an ear, let them hear.
And you may want to put religion at the top. Religion, ... God keeps telling different people different things about the same thing. Now, either God is the most confused person in the universe, or people's perspectives, people's opinions, people's beliefs are the cause of all this confusion. I believe it's the latter. I believe it's those of us who say we know so much about God that's making a mess of all this. That's right. Have you ever noticed that God operates in the fear factor of a person's mind? Whatever a person is hurting from, that's God's biggest problem. Hey, I don't want you to make all these shirts, man. Whatever a person is hurting from, that becomes God's biggest problem. You ever hear preachers get in the pulpit and they always focusing on a certain vice or hang up or weakness or a bad habit? You know, I used to wonder why preachers used to do that kind of stuff. You know, God tired, you ain't nothing but a drunk. You ain't nothing but an alcoholic. God tired of you drinking. You gonna drop dead from cirrhosis of the liver. And it's deep. One day I was riding down the street right here in St. Louis. And the very preacher that I heard preaching that, he's standing there.
He said that happened in St. Louis, right? That happened right there in St. Louis. Now, I'm in Texas. I ain't going to give y'all too much of the information, but I'm in Texas. And the same thing happened in Texas. So I'm pretty sure if somebody was in Indiana, somebody was in Wyoming, the same thing happened because, you know, everything that was done, it was already done under the sun. So why is it a surprise that anybody is doing anything to anybody? Why is it a surprise to anybody doing anything to anybody? Why is it a surprise when something happens with human beings involved? And it happens. Even if it's categorized this or if it's categorized that, it doesn't matter because it already happened and it happened before. So if it happened before, it shouldn't be no shock. But we'd be so shocked because you're so put in that fear factor that everything is just wrong when people gonna do that shit. No, you got to come to a point where you know that people just gonna do it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do whatever it is that they've been wanting to do because they're alive, and whatever degree of definition of they got of living, however they go. I mean, hell, they even had propaganda out there to help us. YOLO, all that shit, all these songs, all that, man. People live by that shit. Now, that's the find a guard in a minute. Go cut on some music. And if they listen to that fella more than 3 or 4 times, they worship that fella or that young lady or that entity or whatever it is, and whatever that entity, I'm pretty sure that entity is not talking. I know, I'm just talking to myself, y'all. I'm talking to myself because I listen to music and I listen to certain people. And some of that messages shit ain't good, but I like the music.
Trying to get his key in his door. I thought he was sick. I stopped to help him because he was a preacher. I know he wasn't drunk. A bishop. And being that I knew him, I stopped and said, Bishop, you all right? Huh? I said, oh my God. But yet all he talks about is drinking. Y'all get the picture?
I'm talking to myself.
Religion. Telling us how God gonna handle things. As a result of this, brothers and sisters, we are in a mess, and we are as far away from right spirituality as the East is from the West. Now, so that you're clear on that, because somebody might say, well, the East ain't really that far from the West. It's just a matter of 1 degree. If you're looking at the planet as far as longitude, latitude, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't mean it from that perspective. I'm talking about if you were to start going east in a straight line, not around the globe, but straight out into space and start straight out into space in a straight line, you would depart, never meet. And when it comes to us, our spirituality is so messed up because of religion that's how far we are from getting on track. The tragedy in all this is that we as a people cannot seem to unite ourselves. Yeah. We having a problem because of our own misconceptions about God. Everyone thinks that their views is right. What are we going to do about it? Everyone thinks that their view about death is the right view. Eternity is the right view. Rewards and judgment when they get into heaven or the afterlife is the right view. And all of this supposedly comes from the mind of God. We need to have a let's see what God said to me convention. Come on, let's find out, what did God say to you about this? And I promise you, if you bring some homosexuals in, they'll tell you that God said it's all right. Yeah. If you bring some thieves together, they'll tell you that God said it's all under the cross.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. For those who have an ear, let them hear. It doesn't have to be broken down. We don't have to point it out. We don't have to stop every time somebody makes a point that made sense. And they made it make sense. So we're going to make it make sense. A lot of stuff that's being presented to us, like right now, we wouldn't think that we'll be talking about there are aliens when they told us it wasn't. We wouldn't be talking about drones or any unidentified any allegedly flying objects is hovering over certain cities and doing certain things. They're describing what it is. Just like they give us a search bar called Google, and all you got to do is just look it up. You can talk to AI. They'll give you the answer right away. Everything you can just get right away. Ain't no time into it to go kind of, go, check into it. See what the parts was made out of. See where they get the parts in, so there's people out there that think like that. Oh man, what is this made out of? Well, how can I make something like this? We got some people out there that's talented like that. But they're too busy putting stuff in our face. And there's just so much stuff. And then they put a price on the stuff. And then they can adjust the price of the stuff to go up and down. But what you're receiving ain't going up. It's at a standstill, at a low rate. And time is valuable. And the more time you give to that, the fatter that check gonna be. But your family gonna be broken up. Because both of them gotta go get it. Because they can raise it up and they can raise it up and they can bring it down, whatever they can do whatever they want to do. At any given time, what you think is yours is not yours. So now you gotta go back. Somewhere they lied. They lied to you. Somebody lied to you. It's okay. Your parents did the best that they can do with what they had. And you doing the same shit. Ain't nothing changed under the sun like I've been saying. But some stuff, you just got to take it for a grain of salt. And it is what it is, man. Because when you in that shit, when you in that funk, you believe in the God that you riding with. But as soon as that God don't agree with what you doing, then you ain't riding with that God. So we throw that God out the window. Now we serving plenty of them. Then they say we lukewarm. Then they say we hypocrites. Then they say we going to hell. But then they say you saved. Then they say, shit, you can do all that shit as long as you say at the end, I believe in them. This just sound like some cop-outs, some I'm saying, I need some structure around here. I played college sports. I went to school. I finished school. I was the one that finished the shit that they said I wasn't going to finish. I ain't even had a chance or opportunity to go look at it or touch it. You ain't got to give me no props or no rewards or nothing. Y'all know who I am, and I know who I am, and I don't need you to remind me who I am. I would like a lot of things. I would like a lot of things to come to the light. I would like a lot of people to be honest. But boy, if you keep waiting and believing that people going to do that, they're not. You just believe in what you believe in your circle. And you manifested it. Yeah. If you manifest it, then it's good for you to come. You never give up on whatever it is that you believe that you're supposed to have. Yes, sir. I put in a lot of work in a lot of places. And I don't care what kind of ethic or what type of whatever it is. If you put in the blood, sweat, and tears for that entity, I believe that you're supposed to get some type of return out of it. If you had a skill set that you had and you was at a building or a place and you gave your skill set, your blood, your hard sweat and tears, they need to acknowledge that. They don't need to make rules and stipulations on who and who can and who can't. But now, man, that's religion. That ain't spirituality. Religion is finding a group and finding what group you want to kick it with. You want to be a Muslim in that group, you want to be whatever. It ain't even got to be Muslim, Christian. But we were taught Christianity, bro. We was taught that. Westerners, we was taught that. And they put that on us heavy to the fact that where our grandmas and grandpas and the older, they was in that. And you was in it too. And you was there every day with all that. And I bet you had the questions. You had to have the question. Then all of a sudden you just don't go no more. And then when you get older, older in time, your kids is grown. And then now, it's Jesus, God. But when you was younger and you was doing that shit, you was Jesus. Now, some shit ain't working and it ain't working like it used to work no more. Well, you done went through some shit. Just look at the title, man. Look at the title of what I got up there. You know what I'm saying? We serving the God right now to who we want to serve. We ain't serving the Almighty God. We'll give thanks to the Almighty God. You understand what I'm saying? But we only give thanks to him when the shit is good, when it's roses. Talk to him when that shit ain't roses. Like right now, this shit ain't roses. It ain't roses for me, but I'm on here talking how good it is, period, because it is. You understand what I'm saying? Loss in family, experiencing the first holiday without your firstborn. People out trying to figure out the relationship you had with the firstborn. People trying to figure out whatever. It ain't nothing for y'all to figure out. I know what I had. And I don't need none of y'all to remind me. I made it. I created it. I know how I feel. I ain't never had this. I ain't never been. Come on, man. I know people that have been through it. I ain't saying I'm the only one, but man. Shout out to the mothers, boy. There's some strong-ass women out there. And that's who started this shit first. I'd be an idiot to sit up here and say God is a man when I know the woman started this shit first. So therefore, you lied to me in the beginning. Make it make sense. Make that shit make sense. God is a him. Make that shit make sense. Make it make sense. You came out a woman. You was in water because shit, that shit exploded and that's when he came, right? They taught us this shit though. I'm just talking to myself. You got to break away from that shit. You got to be newborn babies, which means you got to throw all that shit away that you was taught. And it's a lot of love in that shit that you was taught. How you going to give that up if it's a lot of love? There was a lot of love in that shit that their grandma taught you. It's a lot of love in that. Huh? It's a lot of love in that shit. It was a lot of love in it. That's why you don't give up those morals or those principles. Now that shit has faded away because they done made a whole nother set. Somebody else that went up to the clouds and brought a whole nother set of commandments down because it's a whole nother set of rules down here, y'all. You can sit up there and abide by that shit. People ain't going to church. Them kids ain't going to church no more. It's gimmicks and shit. They done turned church to the club. I don't even know how these churches is still open. They got to be the good support, but that's what love can do that shit. Love the only thing. I take that back. Love the only thing that can keep something alive a long ass time. If you want to know why that shit's still there, there's some love in there. You need to go find out the goddamn recipe. Excuse my language. But make it make sense. I am my daddy's child. And I'm not scared to talk the way that I talk. Because I know it's understood in some parts. Because some parts, they be taught some other shit that be smooth and slick. And see, they say the parts that I come from, I talk smooth and slick. But why the people that I know, they understand it better. And they can get a better understanding of who they are. I told you in the beginning of the show. So I ain't even say nothing. I say, give yourself a round of applause. I ain't even tell you to like, subscribe, share, anything. I ain't tell you to do none of that. I ain't tell you to do none of that. I put this stuff up here because this what I be on. I be wanting to know, Jack. You can't just tell me no nothing. Tell me none of that. You understand what I'm saying? Put some football, some sports. I mean, look, it's good. I play sports. I get it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Shit can just change at the drop of a dime. No, it can't. Yes, it can. Yes, it can if you wanted to. You hold on and play with that shit if you want to. I knew at a certain point I wasn't going to be playing no professional. You understand what I'm saying? But still, you're going to give me something out of this shit. You're going to give me something. And then the something that you gave me, that shit ain't shit. The diploma, the degree, the college degree, that ain't shit. I still owe debt. Well, when you just, I don't know, I don't trust nothing. I don't know, man. I don't trust nothing. You need to, it's a lot of shit I need to do, huh? But at least you just can't tell me that we all serving the same God. Because we ain't. And y'all know we ain't. Why do we pick the God we want to serve? Because it's comfortable for us, nigga. We ain't got to worry about the consequences, nigga, because that shit don't apply to us. That's not what my God.
You get the picture?
You get.
Because everybody wants to be okay with God. Right. And the easiest way to make yourself okay with God is to make God fit within the parameters of your weakness. Because if God doesn't fit within the parameters of your weakness, then your allegiance to please the Almighty will make you change. And since you don't want to change, you got to come up with a gospel to make your shortcomings and weaknesses okay with God. That's what the white man did. That's why the white man gave us salvation by grace. For by grace are you saved. That doesn't make you right with God. Because the same literature says it's pleasing to God. The literature says that God had to send a sacrifice so the only way to make themselves holy or right with God is somebody had to come pay the price for them. And all they got to do with their no good self is exercise in. That's not us. That's not our way as a people. But now here's the problem. Over the last 50 years or so, it has become our way as a people. We have taken on the viewpoint, the dogma, the doctrine, the teachings of a people who do not know God. We take on the ways of people on this alien way. We are now acting. Am I making sense, y'all?
Is he making sense? This is way back then, and we've been seeing aliens now. Come on now, man. He gonna pick who he gonna pick. God gonna pick who he gonna pick. God gonna pick. I'm sorry. I was excited. I said him. God gonna pick who God pick to put the message out there. You understand what I'm saying? The correct message is out there. It is. It's a certain frequency. It's a certain frequency these people on. And they there. You know what I'm saying? They there. They secretly there. They secret. They just didn't see. They just like the secret, man.
And we are more confused than ever. When it comes to race relations, there's a lot of confusion here. Because God keeps telling different things to different people about race relations. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me ask y'all a question. Based on what you've been taught, shout the answer back at me as soon as you can. Is God a respecter of persons? No. Look at that. See? All of y'all said no. A couple of y'all said yes. But both of you said no. Why isn't God a respecter of persons? Talk to me. Why? It says in the Bible, go on, brother, that God is not a respecter of persons. Now, somebody said, well, where does the Bible say that? Turn to Acts 10:34. Come on, reader, turn. We're going to just check out a couple of verses here about some issues where God keeps saying different things to different people about the same thing. Consequently, got us all confused here. Now, while you're looking for this passage, I submit to you, God ain't said squat. You know what I mean? I just have to be bold enough and tell y'all, God ain't said nothing. Okay? People said that God said. You wasn't there to hear it. Think about it, man. We have to stop saying stuff like that. We have to stop saying God said. God said. And then you quote a verse that somebody wrote because they want you to think that God said that. You got Acts 10:34? What? Sister, give the sister this microphone, please, so it can go on tape. Thank you, brother. Acts 10:34. It says it plain as day. What does it say, Minister Stewart?
Then Peter opened his mouth.
Then Peter. What did he do?
And said,
What did it say? What did it say?
of a truth,
Of a truth,
I perceive
that God
is no respecter of persons.
is no respecter of persons. Boom. There it is, brother. I'm right in the Bible. God is not a respecter of persons. Satisfied? Turn to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, verses 6 and 7. And let's find out about this same God who keeps saying different things to different people about the same thing. Deuteronomy 7, 6 and 7 say.
For thou art an holy people.
Y'all, not yet. Now just you group of people. And of course, he's talking supposedly here to a phony group of people called Israelites. Okay? And you got to understand this is some deep stuff because there were never any people called Israelites. Well, yes, there are a group of, there's some people called Israelites, Pastor, because there's a country over there called Israel. See how much power religion has? Because if there was never a Bible, there would never be a country called Israel. Follow how deep this thing goes, people. Israel, the word Israel, the people that call themselves Israelites because God supposedly changed Jacob's name to Israel. Got me? So since Jacob's name was changed to Israel, all of the descendants from Jacob call themselves Israelites. Okay, and consequently, we have a country in the world today called Israel. The problem is Jacob never existed. Because his daddy Isaac never existed. Because his daddy Abraham never existed. Y'all got this? So the power of religion is so powerful that it literally creates real people out of fictitious people. That's why we're confused. God said about these people called Israelites, what did it say?
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Now check out what we've been told that God said to these people. You are a holy people unto the Lord your God. Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
Now that's some deep stuff. The Lord thy God hath chosen you, Israelites. Go ahead.
To be a special people unto himself.
To be a special people unto himself. Is that it?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Over and above every other class of people on the planet. And because of that verse right there, and I think somewhere in there it says, whoever blesses you, I will bless them, and whoever curses you, I will curse them. Because of those verses right there, the United States of America will send its military, all 5 branches, including the National Guard, over to Israel to help them in military affairs. Y'all got this? A people who are phony people, liars, bogus, thieves. I know. See, what I'm saying is messing with somebody because you love Jews that bad. And you know why you love them? Because you were taught to love them. You love Jews more than you love your cousin. Because it was what she just read was drilled into us as children. And right now today, man, if you go to your job with a kufi you on, they want to fire you. But a Jew can come in their doggone job with that Hanukkah on, or whatever you call it, yarmulke, whatever you call it, Yamaha, whatever it's called.
I know we let authority do a lot of shit they don't supposed to be doing just because they're authority. And I know a lot of people that was born that didn't really respect authority. And I don't mean was blatantly disrespectful, but you know, you had that sense like this authority is not to be trusted. And this is when you're young, because you gotta, when you're young, you gotta respect authority because you ain't got no choice because you're around nothing but authority when you're young, because you always at a function. You either at home with authority, you either at school with authority, you either at football practice with authority, everywhere you use that as authority. And that authority was a child before. And everybody has done the same thing under the sun, so ain't nothing changed. So why is it a surprise that people are doing what they are doing? I got to keep saying that. And I just keep saying it to remind myself. I'm not reminding it to somebody else so I can look good. I just got to remind myself, people are going to do what people are going to do because that is human behavior. We cannot explain why some of our body parts do some of the shit that it does. We don't know why it need to go out. We don't know when it's going to go out. You don't know when we don't know. We just don't know. You can take care of your body to the fullest to the T, and something still can happen to you. So again, it's just how you adapt to the shit that happened to you. That's all that shit is. How are you going to go forward when the shit happened to you? Because the shit's going to happen to you. I got to remind myself. I got to keep reminding myself that all the time. It don't go the way that they got it planned. You understand what I'm saying? They got it planned good. Yeah, you go to school, you get your education, you get your diploma, you walk across stage, go get the ideal job, then after you get the ideal job, you'll get the family, the girlfriend, the house, and all that shit in the car, and your whole life you try to get a better home or a better car or a better something. That's living. That ain't living, bro. They ain't living. It's not living. Living to me is understanding that some of this shit is asshole backwards. And then when you find out it go asshole backwards and you don't go with the grain, you go kind of against the grain, and you getting blessed more against the grain than you would if you was going with the grain. But you can only tell them, you ain't got to tell them how you're being blessed. They know that you're being blessed because you're still surviving, still doing whatever it is that keeps you ticking and going. And whatever is keeping you ticking and going is what's keeping you getting the good blessings coming. So they're going to come. So I don't knock any way that they go. I don't. I ain't in to knock nothing. If that's what that is, if that's what the view is. Because you don't know what people been through. You don't know what they went through. You don't know what they had to go through to get to where they was at. So let them people have a moment. Just like when the Black Christmas come around, let them people have a moment. They want to go buy a goddamn ostrich egg on some 24s. Let them get the goddamn egg with the 24s on there. That's what the people want to do. That's what the people got to do.
A Jew can wear that little thing on top of their head all day long and won't nobody say nothing. All because of these lies right here. That's the confusion, man. Well, why can't I wait if you're going to come in here? Why? He ain't taking his thing off his head. You walk in there with curls if you want to. And they'll say you cross-dressing. But a Jew can walk in his job with his little curling iron things hanging down here and getting why? Because God keeps saying different things to different people about the same thing. And again, I submit to you, God ain't said squat. I had control of it. I wasn't about to lose it. Yeah. Buddy, I thought I'd just hold on. What about the marriage relations? God keeps saying different things to different people about the same thing. For example, what about let me talk about according to the mind. Turn to 1 Corinthians 14:34. Right quick. What does Now follow how I'm saying this. What does God say about women?
They say some people took it out and took it and put it in.
Sister,
You don't know what to
Let
put.
your women keep silence in the churches.
Shut up, women in the church. Can't say shit.
wow.
My ass up.
For
Go ahead.
it is not permitted to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law.
Now y'all be surprised how many black pastors right now today churches where
Yeah,
a woman cannot even step up into the pulpit. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I remember when I think it was my first appreciation service here or something like that, and I scheduled my mother. Yeah. You remember that, Mom? Right. I scheduled my mother to be the preacher for that day. Right. And the secretary at that time called me to put the program together, and she said, "Pastor, who's the preacher?" I said, "My mother." She said, what's her name?" I said, "Dr. Eileen Gilmore, so she can put it in the program." She said, "Okay," and she hung up. She called me back about 15 seconds later. She said, "Pastor, check out." She said, "Pastor, is your mother a woman?" That's some deep stuff, ain't it? That told me right there what I was in store for. Is she a woman? I said, "Of course." How do you spell Gilmore? Okay, call me back. I don't think that's what you mean. We don't let women in the pulpit. I said, "I'll tell you what." And I said, "God, give me some wisdom as how to handle this right now." I said, "You know what? I'll tell you what. Put my name there as the speaker." Okay? And that day, when it came to, she said, and she said, and she told me, she said, that would be better, Pastor. In fact, now it ain't that we don't want your mother to speak, but it'd be better if she speaks from the floor. Y'all, now listen, I ain't talking 1836. Y'all hear what I'm
Now, before I end the live, I'm a scoot it up because there's some other interesting topics that he's talking about, but it goes along with the topic that I had today. You understand what I'm saying? And it's, why do we pick the God we want to serve? See, we're going to pick and choose the God. It's like he's a menu. It's like he got a menu, and we're going to just, let me get the fries, the potatoes, and the onions. And that's what the fuck we're going to get. We're going to get what we want to get, how we want to get it. We don't want that one that punishes the ones that do this here. We don't want the Almighty God who stand for that. Just like some of these people up here standing about to be in Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's why, hey, man, if you're going to be a part of it, be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be a heathen, be a heathen. Be whatever it is that you is. But don't be some shit you don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to live by a strict thing. And you can call yourself a Christian, but Christians are the most hateful people I done seen, because I'm in this Western Hemisphere, and them to be the ones seeing you straight to hell. You understand what I'm saying? Seeing you straight to hell. But again, just like I told you at the beginning of the show, man, you give yourself a fucking round of applause for going through what you're going through and still standing up and still being able to provide, even though the odds are against you. The odds are against you anyway, because they already said we was born a fuck up. So shit, I mean, you know, something that's that love is so much, man, it's born a fuck up. That's all I'm saying. Why do we pick the God that we want to serve? You know what I'm saying? I'm not for serve no God that tell me I'm a fuck up, and then all I got to do is at the end is say I believe. You know what I'm saying? Now, man, give me some other structure, some other shit. And give me the part of this group that's, you know, they got a lot of enemies, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people really, they love them. But they say this is the coolest group. I ain't joining none of that shit. I'm just going to ride for what I ride for, knowing that it's an almighty. And that's it. Point blank.
For me to know we here now, believe it, brokers. I am on my shit, and you know it's true. Ask your bitch, she know it too. Why you think she can up with the crew? I am on my shit. Can you see me? No. Everybody always wanna see me flow. I show stop every scene I'm on, cause I am on my shit.
I'm on mine. They know why. She's so shy. I'm so fly. The thought of it open up her eye. The grind in me, she say that's my guy. Pine cone fresh, she asks why. Fresh head to toe, baby girl, you be surprised. Boss status, we some wise guys. Super size, baby girl, you're small fry. Be something like that, I'm nothing like that. Whole sci-fi nigga, you boss, I'm back. The more you hate it, it just makes me laugh. Don't be mad at me, you need to be mad at yourself. Can't stand backstabbers, talk about you and laugh with you. Then they get mad at you when you learn how to deal with them. Humble heart and I got no patience, ignorance and I'm not gonna take it. Tequila shot and I don't even taste it. Promethazine, expensive tasting. 6 and 8 and I stay betting. Bet the boy, you know I'm drinking. Get it, I'm the drink man. Purple like the Kool-Aid man. Patty cake, I got a baker's hand. Get rid of these grams as fast as I can. Roll it up, put one in the air, man.
Open after race, always at first, cause that's the place. Don't know what I'm on if that's the case, bitch. I am on my shit, and they see it though. What I got most for me to know, we here now, believe it, brokers. I am on my shit, and you know it's true. Ask your bitch, she know it too. Why you think she can up with the crew? I am on my shit. Can you see me? No. Everybody always wanna see me flow. I show stop every scene I'm on, cause I am on my shit.